Cid Kagenou. He isn't supposed to be the strongest person in his world. That's the joke. He plays the role of a background character, mumbling about power from the shadows while secretly being the exact thing he pretends is fake. In his Isekai life as Shadow, his magic control is so ridiculous he treats nuclear-level attacks like theater props. His signature move, I am atomic, isn't just a flashy line. It's a one-man annihilation spell that erases everything in a huge radius, leaving nothing but a smoking crater. He casts it casually, like he's testing a sound effect. His real power isn't just raw destructive force, though. It's how he bends reality around his delusions. He makes up a fake cult, the cult of Diablos, and then it turns out to be real. He creates an organization, Shadow Garden, as a joke, and it grows into a world-spanning secret army. He never aims to be a hero or a demon lord. He just wants to act cool in the shadows. The universe itself seems to rearrange so that fantasy becomes truth. To everyone else, he's a background extra. In reality, he's the scriptwriter. Ainz Ooal. He is what happens when the final boss of an MMO never logs out. He isn't a chosen hero or a reincarnated nobody. He's the max-level undead guildmaster, dropped into a fantasy world that was never meant to handle his existence. As a lich, he's already terrifying. He's immune to things that would kill normal people instantly: poison, mind control, even death magic. His spell list is a catalog of nightmares. He can erase armies with wide-area magic, stop time, rewrite memories, and resurrect his allies like they're pawns on a board. To him, a 100,000-man army is just a test run for a new spell. But his scariest weapon isn't magic. It's preparation. He never walks into a fight blind. He uses intelligence networks, disguises, and layers of contingency spells so that by the time his enemy sees him, the outcome is already decided. Even when he struggles, it's usually an act to keep up appearances. To the people of this new world, he is a god of death whose very presence changes politics, religion, and war. To him, he's just a salaryman trying not to disappoint his old guild. Ainz Voldigoad. He isn't the future Demon King. He's the original, the guy everyone else is trying and failing to live up to. When he reincarnates 2,000 years later, the world has downgraded his legend so badly that no one believes it's really him. He treats the laws of magic like mild suggestions. He kills a man with a heartbeat and brings him back just to prove a point. He destroys castles with a flick of his finger. He shrugs off holy swords, divine blessings, and lethal curses like they're a light breeze. Even time travel doesn't impress him. If the timeline doesn't cooperate, he just punches through it. The crazy part is how little effort he uses. He doesn't scream, power up, or beg for victory. He talks down to gods, heroes, and academies that try to measure him. To him, things like limit, talent, and status are for other people. He's the measuring stick the world forgot. Everyone else is debating who the Demon King really was. He's busy showing them, in person. Rimuru Tempest. He starts as the weakest thing in fantasy games, a slime. No hands, no face, no status, just a blob in a cave. But every monster he eats, every skill he copies, becomes a brick in the foundation of something unfair. With predation and a guiding voice like Great Sage, later Mafahl, he doesn't just gain powers. He optimizes them. He absorbs enemies, dismantles their abilities, and reuses them better than they ever could. When he becomes a demon lord, the scale shifts completely. He can wipe out an entire army in seconds, resurrect the dead, and reshape the environment around him like clay. Then comes the true evolution. As a god-class being, he steps beyond strong character into world system. He creates a nation where monsters and humans can coexist, manipulates politics from the shadows, and bargains with beings on the level of gods and true dragons. If he loses, he rewrites the situation. If something can't be beaten head-on, he just breaks the rules behind it. The world thinks they're dealing with a friendly slime. They're actually dealing with the admin of reality. Ruphas Mafahl. She isn't a chosen one dropped into a game world. She's the final boss who vanished at the peak of her power, and then comes back inside the body of a girl who created her as a character. In her original era, she ruled from the top of the zodiac, overwhelming heroes, gods, and monsters alike. Her stats weren't high, they were absurd. She outclassed everyone so completely that the world had to team up against her just to survive. Then she disappeared, and legends turned her into a distant nightmare story. When she returns, she doesn't just reclaim her former power. She breaks past it. She bends fate, crushes armies single-handedly, and stands toe-to-toe with cosmic beings that view worlds as disposable. She commands followers who themselves could be final bosses in other stories, yet they still feel small next to her. What makes her so frightening isn't just that she can destroy the world, it's that she's smart enough to rule it instead. She's a strategist, a conqueror, and a guardian all at once, the kind of last boss you're grateful is on your side. Shallow Vernal. She isn't another overpowered protagonist with broken skills. She's the world. Literally. In her story, she is the origin point, the god who governs the rules themselves. She doesn't just cast magic, she decides how magic works. If something can happen, it's because she allows it. If something can't, no amount of power or cleverness can force it through. Heroes, demons, and even other gods are just pieces moving inside her system. She can rewrite concepts, erase events, and undo threats that would annihilate the universe in any other series. To beings who can destroy countries or worlds, she looks untouchable. To her, even those beings are just data she could edit or delete on a whim. The only real limit to her power isn't another character. It's her own personality. She chooses to let stories unfold instead of ending them with a thought. Not because she has to, because she wants to. Everyone else is fighting for survival. She's deciding whether the game continues at all. Yogiri Takatou. He looks like the last person you'd put at the top of any power list. He's quiet, sleepy, and mostly just wants to be left alone. In a normal isekai, he'd be background filler. In his own story, he's the end of everything. His ability is simple. Instant death. No charge time, no chant, no visible effect. If he decides something should die, a monster, a hero, a god, even an abstract concept, it just does. Defenses don't matter. Immortality doesn't matter. Reality warping doesn't matter. The universe can stack infinite layers of protection, and his power still cuts straight through all of it. The wildest part is how casually he uses it. He doesn't scream attack names or flex his strength. Half the time he's bored, confused, or just trying to get to his destination in peace. Enemies monologue, transform, and summon apocalyptic storms. He looks at them, gets mildly annoyed, and their story ends in a single, invisible moment. In a genre full of broken stats, divine blessings, and world-class cheats, he doesn't need any of that. He doesn't overpower his opponents. He erases the idea that they were ever a threat.